Hey, yeah, just talking about autographs today. If you guys have any questions about who to send to, how to send through the mail, hey Reagan, it's gonna be talking about autographs. I think I'm gonna be doing some through the mail requests today. I plan on writing to Pamela Anderson. She's currently doing a stint on Broadway right now. I think it's getting towards the end of the production, so I'm gonna try and get that out tomorrow. Post office is closed today, unfortunately, so I'm gonna have to try and get it to New York pretty quick. But yeah, basically sending one to her and gonna request a playbill. I don't have any photos or anything for her to sign, so they usually have playbills, which is like a program for the play, and they have those there for free. They can just grab one for free and kind of sign it and stick it in the envelope. I use these kind of larger envelopes for the playbills. They fit them perfectly, so I'll just fold one up, put it in the envelope, put some postage on there, and hopefully gets there in time, because she's been doing pretty good about responding to her fans via the theater. She's at she's at the Ambassador Theater on Broadway right now. Hey, contacting Will Ferrell. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So he's got the Ricky Bobby race suit. He's gonna wear that at his wedding. Okay, that's cool. So I mean, that's not like unheard of that you might like. Are you trying to send him like a wedding invite, like asking him to come to the wedding? Is that what you're trying to do, or are you trying to like get him to sign the race suit? Yeah, it's probably more tricky. You wouldn't want to send the race suit to get signed. So I'm assuming you want to invite him to the wedding. And if that's the case, it's not like unheard of. At least, yeah, it's not like it's less likely that he's gonna attend, just get an autograph or something. Yes, I mean, I might actually probably go with telling him the story about you're wearing the Ricky Bobby race suit, or the brothers wearing the suit at the wedding, and send him an invitation. He's probably not going to come, although it's not unheard of, because I mean, even like Taylor Swift, she got some fan mail. Someone sent her a wedding invitation and a bridal shower invitation, and she went to the fans' bridal shower. So it's not like completely unheard of. And when Barack Obama was in office, he would get wedding invitations all the time. And even though he didn't attend any of those, he would always, him or his office would send some kind of congratulatory letter, something like that. So it's not unheard of that celebrities will reply in some way to these kinds of invitations. So yeah, let me Will Ferrell. Let me get his address for you, and you can send it to his agency, and hopefully we'll just pass it on. So it would be care of United Talent Agency. And it's 888 7th Avenue, 9th floor, New York, New York, 10106. And I'll reply with this address to the comment that you made on my previous video. So yes, yeah, I'd say send an invite, tell them what you're doing, maybe send a picture of your brother in the outfit. Anything that you can do to make it more personal, the better, because probably your letter's going to go to like a secretary or somebody like that, and they might have first look at it. And these celebrities, they only have so much time in the day, right? So they can't possibly go through every piece of fan mail they get. So the more personal, the more meaningful and special that you make your letter, the better the chances that the secretary is going to look at it, say, hey, that's pretty cool, let me pass this on. If it's just like, a lot of people will get away with like form letters sometimes, and it's obvious that they take no effort in writing their letters and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes it works, but I mean, I imagine they're missing a lot of opportunities because they're not putting in the effort that they really should be. Because time is limited, so they're not going to waste their time on somebody who's not putting in their own time to contact them and actually, write something meaningful. So, yeah. See, have you ever written to anybody before? Got an autograph or anything like that? Yeah, and if you guys could share this live with your friends, let them know that I'm answering questions about fan mail, all that kind of stuff. That would be greatly appreciated. Hey, Maya the Rat. Hey, how's it going? Let's see. Yeah. So just gonna be doing some fan mail today. So let's see. I'll just get my letter going here. Oops, let's see. Hey Critter, how's it going? Yeah, just sending some fan mail here to Pamela Anderson on Broadway. She's doing the play Chicago, and she's going to be on there for a limited time. So basically, I type out all my letters. I find it a lot easier. First of all, my handwriting is just atrocious, so I like to handwrite or type the letters rather than handwrite. Although, yeah, for whatever reason, I did like a survey not too long ago, and like most collectors like to handwrite all of their letters, and it's cool. I think it does add a personal touch to it. But if it's at the cost of being able to read what I'm writing, and spending many hours on writing it out, because I do a lot of letters, I just find typing is a lot better. Okay. Dan says, new to your page. Do you know how responsive Elizabeth Olsen is? Yes. So let me start with, I have gotten a response from Elizabeth Olsen. I wrote to her when she was filming Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That was being filmed in the UK at Pinewood Studios. And I've written to her via her agency and other addresses before with no luck. So I would say if you're going to write her, do what I did and write to her via venue. So whatever movie set that she's currently on would be a good place to go to. So you can just go to IMDb and it'll show you everything that's currently in production. If it says if it's in development, it's too early to send. If it's in production right now, if they're actively filming the movie, that's when you want to send. If it's in post-production, then it's already too late. They've already done filming. The actor isn't on the set anymore. It's too late. So definitely, get on there when she's filming something. And yeah. So I'd say that. And I did have the opportunity to actually act with Elizabeth Olsen. I was a background actor for her upcoming series Love and Death, and it's coming out on HBO and probably in October. It was filmed here in Texas, where I am. It's about the real life murder of Candy Montgomery murdering somebody, and Hulu has a show called Candy, and then HBO is doing one about the exact same story simultaneously. Kind of strange. But they filmed it like in the Austin area. I'm in San Antonio. And so they put out a casting call for background actors. I applied. I dragged my wife into it, and we were actually there for like 2 separate shooting days. They lasted all day. So there was the first day, there was Elizabeth Olsen, Jesse Plemons, Kristen Ritter, and like most of the other cast was there. And then the second day we went to shoot, we were in the Austin area, and it was Lily Raby who was there. So like all the main cast, we got to kind of be around, which was cool. Elizabeth Olsen was like super good actress. Really did her part really well. It was very cool to see behind the scenes, like how much time they were putting into it. Because they were shooting like maybe like 3 scenes, and they were like 30 seconds long. But it took like all day, because they were just taking take after take after take, trying to get the perfect shot, get the cadences absolutely right, and like they were like perfectionists. It was really good. So I'm super excited to see how Love and Death turns out. All right. So, who are some people who usually send back autographs? So, if you just type into Google top celebrities that respond to fan mail, you'll see my website. It should be probably number one result on there. And let me just bring it up for reference. But one of the top people is Tim Allen, and he plays the voice for Buzz Lightyear. Um, whether or not his signature is authentic or secretarial, that is up for debate. I mean, it looks really good. Like, it looks like it's his signature, but there are collectors in the community who swear up and down that it's a secretarial. So take that for what it is. Let's see. Number one position for that is Henry Winkler. He's on the good old days of the Fonz. So Henry Winkler is really good at responding to fan mail. Actually, kind of got like an inadvertent success from him. I was sending to someone, to an actor who was doing a film for his production company, and I didn't get a response from that actor, but Henry Winkler did respond to my fan mail. Ironically, so that was kind of fun. Sophia Loren is very good. Number 4 is Judi Dench. Number 5, Bob Newhart. Bob Newhart, if you are a fan of Elf, he played Papa Elf. I've gotten a response from him before. That was really great. But I mean, as a general rule, I would say, the A-list celebrities are always going to be obviously the hardest because they get the most fan mail. They're the most popular. So they're the hardest to reach. If you can go for somebody who hasn't been in the spotlight for a little while, then, you're going to be, they're going to have less fan mail, and odds of your letter getting through and them having time to sign your stuff is going to be a lot greater. So that's kind of like a general rule. However, I mean, pretty much nobody is off the table, I would say, because if you try hard enough and you do enough research on addresses, pretty much anyone is within your reach to contact and get an autograph from. Like, Liam Neeson was one of my recent successes, who typically just does not sign through the mail at all. And I hadn't seen, it was over a decade since anybody got a reply from him, but I wrote to him via venue, via an address that probably nobody else was using, and somehow my letter got through to him. Went from Spain to the UK, well, from US to Spain to the UK, back to the US. So it came back a little bit worse for wear, got some water damage along the way, but that was a really cool success. So I'd say, nobody is impossible. Anybody is a potential for contact, but yeah, the less in the spotlight they are at the moment, the greater your chances are. Yeah. And if an actor not filming right now, is there a good place to send stuff, or should I wait? Yeah. So I mean, in particular for like those A-list celebrities, via venue is usually your best bet. Like, when they're actually on a film set and you send to the film set, but you can always send to their agent. There's other kinds of, so if you go to talesfromthecollection.com/addresses, you can find out like pretty much all of the kinds of addresses that there are that you can send to. So yeah, via venue, which includes film sets, Broadway, even if it's a musician, concert halls, that kind of thing. If they're doing a concert, you can send to the arena that they're playing at. Then there's businesses, like a lot of actors will own businesses, like Jessica Alba has the Honest Company, and Zooey Deschanel has her Tower Garden company. I forgot what it's called, but you can write to them via their companies. You can also send to their agents. They all have celebrity agents who represent them. And you can usually pretty easily find those addresses. I mean, sometimes you have to pay for services like IMDb. They have the IMDb Pro, which is like a subscription model, and they have all of their agency contacts and that kind of stuff. So you can always just hit me up on TikTok or Facebook, or because I got a Facebook group, Tales from the Collection, that you can post a question in there, or wherever I can help you out with an address, because I have like all the subscription services. So if you're just trying to find one address, it might not be worth it to subscribe to something like that. But Yeah, agency, and then of course, especially for like the older celebrities or a lot of like retired athletes, that kind of thing, they probably don't have an agent anymore. They probably don't have a business, and really the only option is to send to their home address. And a lot of the times that's perfectly acceptable, and the celebrities or athletes will accept fan mail via their home address. So you can find that usually the best place is the white pages. Just go to whitepages.com, and you can just type in their name and the city where they live, and then you can usually find them pretty easily, as long as you know. Like if you just look on their Wikipedia page, it'll tell you, their actual birth name, the city they're in, and their age, and that should be enough for you to find an address to write to. And if they don't accept fan mail there, then they'll just write return to sender on it, and they'll send it on back. No harm, no foul kind of thing. Okay, first question. Have you ever gotten a Tom Kenny autograph? I can't say I actually know who that is. So no, I have not. I don't think I know who Tom Kenny is. Let me see. Voice actor. No, I've never written Tom Kenny, but I mean, voice actors are pretty good. A lot of the times they will respond through the mail. In recent years, it's been slightly harder. They used to kind of be like the low hanging fruit, honestly. But now that services like Streamily and VShout and Cameo, all these like kind of streaming online autograph, meet a celebrity type services are out there. They've been able to monetize their signatures a lot better. The voice of SpongeBob, yeah. So yeah, they've been able to monetize their signatures a lot better. So they've become a little bit harder, but yes, I would say if you write to him, you probably have a decent success of getting a response. Yeah. Let me see. I can actually I'll look him up on. There's one autograph service called Star Tiger. It's a database really, and they have addresses there, but users can kind of update the database with the responses that they get from the actor. And yeah, so it looks like people are having success by what looks like his home address and sending to him, or I guess that doing conventions. So when he comes to conventions, they're getting him mostly, and then one success from his home address. So yeah, so there's a couple responses, but not a whole lot from him. Okay, so Regina asked, what got me into doing this? So I've been doing it for, probably close to 15 years now. And at one point, I was watching the PBS show Antiques Roadshow, and somebody had brought in like their grandma's collection of autographs that they had gotten through the mail. There was all like, kind of old timey, Hollywood actors back from 30s and 40s, I suppose. And, she had mentioned how she had written all these actors and they sent her, these autographs, and they had stayed in her personal collection for all these years. So, that kind of, sparked the idea in my brain. I was like, well, you can actually like reach out to these, celebrities and make contact with them, have them sign something for you, and sometimes get a reply. That was kind of a little bit mind blowing for me. And it, it works just as well, if not better, for other types of public figures. I concentrate a lot on the celebrities because that's what I'm into, but a lot of people, they love writing to athletes. One of my personal favorite types of people to write to are artists. So I'll send them, if it's like a Magic the Gathering, they all feature art on there. I'll send them like a couple cards to sign, or send comic books through the mail to get the comic book artist to sign. You can send to even like historical figures, or people who have made big impacts on history. So like there's one of the pioneers of the internet. I mean, there's not one single person who made the internet, but there's a few key people who really developed the architecture for the internet, including Tim Berners-Lee, who I think did HTML. I think that was his contribution. So I sent an autograph request to him. He signed, and some of the other computer pioneers that are still around. I sent them, you know, fan mail and stuff to sign. So there's like the breadth of people that you can write to and interact with. It's not just like, you know, hey, you're a celebrity, I like your movie, please sign for me. It can also be like, hey, I think your work is really incredible and impactful to the world. I'm a great admirer of what you do, and I would, you know, appreciate if you can, yeah, send me some stuff that's signed. Or what's even better is when you like ask them questions. Like you can send a little mini Q&A, which is what I love to do whenever possible. I'll send them like maybe 4 or 5 questions about something important in their career or some of their achievements, trying to get some of the background story on what they've done in life. And you can get some really interesting replies. And yeah, it's kind of cool just to make those connections, I would say. So yeah, that's kind of why I got into writing fan mail and doing through the mail. It's a lot of cool experiences. And it's like, sometimes, like, even if you're going to a convention to meet a celebrity, and like, you really, if you're lucky, you get a minute with them. Like, if you're lucky, probably it's more like just at Star Wars Celebration, which just concluded yesterday. The big guest there was Ewan Mcgregor. I mean, he had so many people in his line that people were just getting ushered through it, like one after another. He literally had time to say his famous line, "Hello there," from episode 3, I think episode 3, right? And yeah, I mean that's all he had, is just to say hello there, and maybe they get to reply to him, and that's it. And then they sign the stuff and they go. So I mean, even though you get to meet a celebrity in person at a convention, really the interactions typically are very brief, especially when it's a bigger celebrity. So in actuality, doing fan mail is kind of like one of the best ways to get a genuine interaction with these people. Certainly more so than you might get at a big convention where you're being rushed through the line. So, I mean, it's cool. So I go to conventions myself, and I do all that stuff as well. But at the same time, it's like, I don't always have the $300 per autograph to pay at a convention, or, you know, more depending on the celebrity. I mean, like, Robert Downey Jr., for his signing, he was like $1,500 for an autograph. Like, I don't have that much money to drop on one autograph. So, yeah, I find it a lot more fulfilling usually, and a lot more certainly better for my wallet to do it this way. Because yeah, I mean, people were paying this $1,500. They weren't even like, that was a private signing. They weren't even meeting him. So they were just getting, you know, their item, their photo dedicated to them, maybe if they're lucky, if they paid the extra money, and just a signature on a photo, no interaction with Robert Downey Jr. at all. So yeah, I mean, through the mail and fan mail offers a whole lot of possibilities for you to get a lot of contact with them, which is cool. Let's see. I'm going to share the stream real quick on Facebook. So bear with me here. And I got a loud mechanical keyboard. Sorry about that. All right, let me see. All right. I'm interested if anyone's ever gotten any autographs before, had any experiences at a convention, or any celebrity interactions before, maybe running into them on the street, doing a photo op at a convention. Who'd you talk to? How did it go? Let me know. I'd be interested in knowing. You know, I run talesfromthecollection.com. That's my website, and it focuses on fan mail and through the mail autograph collecting. And you know, it has all kinds of pro tips on how to do this successfully, you know, best practices and all that. But one of my favorite things to write about is like fan and celebrity interactions, like where that intersection is. You know, there's always tons of really, you know, heartfelt and interesting stories about fans reaching out to celebrities and getting like really special responses. Like one that was just in the headlines recently was with Tom Hanks, and he's actually been pretty good at responding to fan mail. Like, I mean, he doesn't respond to a whole lot of it, but he does respond like on a consistent basis. Like, every couple months or so, he'll reply to a letter, something like that. And there was this one UK-based artist. He's a typewriter artist, so he would use a typewriter, and it was like ASCII art, basically, was what he was doing. He would just punch the keys onto paper and make art with it. And he did a portrait of Tom Hanks with a typewriter. And Tom Hanks is known to be like this really big typewriter enthusiast. He loves writing letters on typewriters, and that's how he responds to all of his fan mail. And yeah, this artist sent the typewriter portrait to Tom Hanks via his production studio. And Tom Hanks got the letter, and he, said, something along the lines of, great art, signed it and sent it back to the artist. And I mean, I'm sure that was like just an incredibly meaningful thing for him, because, Tom Hanks is known to be this huge typewriter enthusiast. This artist is making his life on typewriters. I mean, it's probably really the best celebrity that he could have ever gotten an autograph from, and probably meant a whole lot to him. So yeah, there's always a ton of really cool interactions. Regina said closest she got was buying an autograph online. Did you go through eBay, or who'd you go through for the autograph, and who was it? A personal story of mine for a good celebrity interaction was actually with Oscar Isaac. So it's kind of a, I kind of missed out a little bit, but it was also really cool at the same time. So this was during episode 9 when they were filming it. I wrote a letter to Oscar Isaac. They were filming in the UK, sent fan mail to him, asked for an autograph. My wife is from Guatemala, and he's Guatemalan. So I mentioned that was nice, having a Guatemalan actor, because I have 2 kids with Guatemalan heritage. And Disney, at some point, they, my letter went through secretary, obviously, and they chose one of my letters among, all the ones that he got. And they were doing a video where the Star Wars actors kind of read their fan mail. So one of the legal representatives from Disney had sent me a letter asking to, use my letter in their video. And unfortunately, at that time, I had just moved. So Disney's letter back to me went to my old house, and it wasn't until like 2 months later that I got the response. And at that point, it was like a little bit too late. However, I did eventually find the video, and in the video, there's Anthony Daniels and some of the other actors, and they're all like kind of reading a little bit of the fan letters. When it gets to Oscar Isaac, you can see him holding my letter, and he's referencing the stuff in there, but he's not actually, reading directly from it, because I didn't sign the waiver, essentially. But you can see him holding my letter, and actually, I use a hanko, which is a stamp right next to my signature. It's a little red circle with my last name in kanji. And you can see it quite clearly on the video. So there's a video of Oscar Isaac holding my fan mail, talking about the stuff that I wrote in there. So that's kind of one of my favorite stories of how fan mail was really awesome and had a cool kind of celebrity connection with me. Yeah, Regina says she got it on eBay and was Bam Margera. Nice. Yeah. So, yeah, eBay is always like, it's the Wild West for autographs, because there's can be a lot of fakes on there. So you always got to be careful with that kind of thing. So, and a word of caution, like on eBay, they'll tell you, oh, it comes with a certificate of authenticity, a COA. But like, I mean, 99% of the time, this is just a piece of paper that they printed out themselves on the computer saying that, this is an authentic autograph. So just because it has a COA, I mean, it's really usually not worth the paper that's printed on. Hopefully you got a good one. I'm sure you did. But yeah, you always got to be extra cautious on eBay. eBay is like a notoriously, suspect place to buy autographs. But I've bought plenty on there. I have gotten burned a couple of times. and I've gotten a lot of good ones too. So it depends. Like if you're going to buy on eBay, the best course of action is to go to either Beckett or PSA DNA. They're both autograph authenticators, and they have a service called, they're called different things for each company, but it has like a quick opinion service on there, and you can basically just send them the eBay item number, and they'll, for like $10, they'll look at the image and they'll give you a response as to whether it's likely to pass authentication or not likely to pass or undeterminable. And they can't like 100% authenticate via the picture, because you really have to look at the ink and be able to examine the photo in person. But just from looking at it, I mean, if it's an obvious forgery, they can tell you, hey, this is a forgery. And if it's a big money autograph, spending the $10 to get an initial look over is a really good idea. So I use that a lot. And if it turns out to be fake, then you're only out $10 instead of $100 or more. So I would definitely use that in the future if you're thinking about autographs. Have you ever gotten autographs from any of the Stranger Things cast? So I recently I have gotten some from let's see. So if you go to talesfromthecollection.com, there is a Stranger Things. There's a whole page for Stranger Things with addresses and stuff, and you can see the ones that I've got or that other people have gotten. Stranger Things, they're kind of like notoriously hard, honestly. Like a lot of them don't really respond, or if they did respond, like in years past, they kind of don't really too much anymore. But yeah, if you go to talesfromthecollection.com/stranger-things, you'll be able to find all of the addresses here. The only one that I've gotten personally, which was actually fairly recently, was David Harbour. I wrote to him also via Venue. He was doing a film, Deadly Night, in Canada, and he was actually doing pretty good at signing. I think I might have been the first person to get a response back, but after I saw that he signed for me, I mean, there was at least 5 other people that he signed for via that address. The film is no longer in production, I don't believe. So that address isn't good anymore, but I would definitely in the future try and contact David Harbour via a film set, via Venue. Let's see, who else? So Shannon Purser, who played Barb in season 1, she was pretty good at signing fan mail for a while. I'm not sure if I've seen a response for her in a little bit, but she's definitely been known to sign through the mail. And Cara Buono, who plays Karen Wheeler, she's been known to sign through the mail as well. So those are 3 people that you can try. And I forget the name of the actor who plays Papa, but he used to sign like really, really reliably through the mail. And that's kind of the way it goes. Like people will sign like really good for a couple of years, and then eventually they just get a little bit inundated with fan mail, and sometimes they decide to stop signing. So he was one of those actors that at least for now has decided not to sign. So yeah, I mean, that's the best thing to do is if like there's like when Stranger Things first came out, like if there's a new show that you really like and you want to get an autograph from somebody, especially if it's a new up and coming actor, like, don't wait a couple years to write to them. Like write to them as soon as possible, because the more popular they get, the harder it is to get their autograph and to get a response. So that's my pro tip for Stranger Things. Write to them, get a time machine and write to them like 6 years ago, whenever the show came out. But yeah, a couple of the actors do still sign, and if you want to get an autograph from them, the best bet is to do via Venue. I haven't given up on them. I'm still trying to get Maya Hawk. Personally, I've written her a couple different letters via different addresses. You got to try out as many addresses as you can until something works, because one agent might not pass on fan mail, another one might, or if it's going to one production studio, they might have a different fan mail policy than a different production studio. So you got to really kind of, it's a numbers game is what it is. You have to keep on trying and doing your best to try. Yeah, I got a few hundred in the mail back in the 80s, says Crypto Bazillionaire. Yeah. I mean, I think, if I could have started when I was born in 1987, I would have. Because, it's always, that's kind of goes to my point that, like, the sooner you start, the better. Because people do stop signing at some point, usually. There's some people who, no matter how much volume they get, they just, bless their souls, just keep on signing no matter what. But some people do sometimes throw in the towel. If I had started collecting back then, one person who I would have loved to write to was Alec Guinness. And unfortunately, he passed away before I started in the hobby, but and he plays the original Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars. But Alec Guinness, he was like really good at responding to fan mail a lot. So I would have loved to get a personal note from him. I think that would have been pretty cool. I'm interested, Crypto Bazillionaire, if you still have your autographs that you got in the 80s, and who you got them from. Yeah, definitely be interested in hearing that. I love, the 80s was a great time for film and music. So, I'm sure there's, a lot of gems that you have in your collection. And I love looking at old autographs, and if I could have started sooner, I would have. Like, the sooner you start, the better. And if you're just getting into it now in 2022, it's not too late. It's better to start today than it is to tomorrow. There's always going to be new actors, new musicians coming on the scene, and there's always people that you can write to, for sure. So I wouldn't let, just because somebody who was signing in the 80s or 5 years ago even, that might not be signing now, don't let that discourage you. There's still plenty of people who are happy to get in contact with their fans and respond to fan mail and sign autographs. So yeah, I'd say now's the time to start. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, and basically I'm just I have another site, the fandom site, and I post a lot of via venue addresses there, a lot of where the productions are happening. So if you want to go there, there might be some good information for you on there as to where stuff will be filming. I mostly write about the Marvel movies and actors that I like. If they're doing a film, I'll write about it. Okay. Deceased, I got Buddy Ebsen, Milton Burley, Gene Audrey, Christopher Reeves, Jerry Lewis, and Jimmy Stewart. Christopher Reeves, that'd be cool. I'd love to have a Christopher Reeves in my collection. Gene Audrey too. That was pretty cool. Roy Rogers, Dale Evans, nice. That's cool. Yeah, and it's cool that you've held on to the collection all this time. I'd definitely be curious to talk to you about it. See if it's how you've been storing it all these years. If you got them in binders, or if they're displayed, and after so many decades, how the signatures are holding up. If they've kind of deteriorated due to exposure to light, or if they've been kept safe in the dark. How that all works. Okay, Adam asks, hey, any suggestions how to get Shigeru Miyamoto or Hideo Kojima signatures? So, you could try and write Shigeru, and I guess both of them. I know Shigeru lives in Japan. I think Hideo does too. Of course he's Japanese, but I think he might live not in Japan. But yeah, you could try and write Nintendo. Sometimes they pass on fan mail, sometimes they don't. It's worth a shot. Like, just here, Doug Bowser, the president of Nintendo of America, did a little story on how somebody wrote him a letter, and they coordinated with Nintendo there, and they passed it up to the Nintendo of America president, Doug Bowser, and he sent all his Cub Scouts. The person who wrote the letter, he sent a bunch of. He was writing on behalf of Cub Scouts who had achieved, Arrow of Light. I'm not a Cub Scout. I don't know, some kind of achievement. They got their badge of some kind, and the scout leader wanted Doug Bowser to send them some words of congratulation, something like that. So, and they did. So Doug Bowser personally signed like 7 letters to all these Cub Scouts who made that achievement. So, I mean, if the president of Nintendo America can respond, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Miyamoto might as well. But yeah, I mean, both of those guys are a little bit hard, but certainly Hideo Kojima, he's done like signings before. So, I mean, it's possible to obtain an autograph from him, like on eBay, from one of the signings that he's done. Like he's done like, signing events before, like I think in the UK and some other places as well for like game launches, that kind of stuff. And Miyamoto has signed stuff usually like when he's appearing at like, like an E3 or like some kind of like electronics game trade show, like a trade show. People will sometimes get him there, but haven't seen a whole lot of through the mail responses. So, sometimes through the mail is the best option. Sometimes, you might just be spinning your wheels. It depends. You just got to do a little bit of research on each individual person to see how it is. Sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and purchase the autograph. Crypto Bazillionaire looking through the first book now. Yeah. So I mean, I keep all my stuff in like Ultra Pro pages for because they come in a lot of different sizes. They got just did a video on it yesterday. They have 8x10 pages, which work really nice, and they're like acrylic acid free, and they're supposed to be like archival quality, so they should be able to hold my autographs long term without damaging the photos or the signatures. And that's probably like the cheapest option. And I just use it I have a couple like 5-inch 3-ring binders and a number of binders that I put pages in. And then for index cards, they make 2 pocket pages that fit them perfectly. They make the 9 pocket pages for trading cards, which are like some of the best things to send through the mail because they're so small and they ship really well in an envelope. It's cheap to ship them, and they hold a lot of value too because trading cards are quite collectible, and having signed trading cards is people buy them, they like them. So not that I sell my collection, but one day I'm going to die and my kids will inherit my collection. They may or may not want to keep it, and that's up to them. So and I do kind of think about my kids and my family when I pass away, what they're going to do with my collection. And I'd like to have something that's, more valuable than not. So I tend not to do like the 5x7 photographs, which, fit in an envelope nicely, but just do not frame well. And I don't think look very good. I think that's just a waste of your time. I'd much rather send an index card that you can frame up beautifully with a mat and a nice big photo. I think that's, if you're going to go with like a cheaper option, that's the cheapest option that was going to hold the most value in the long term. So, there's a lot of good storage options. Itoya portfolios are like really good. I get mine at Michael's. Usually they got coupons for those. So, yeah, that's a good option as well. But certainly, I've got some autographs that I got in, mid 2000s that I've had on display for a while, and like the ink on them is definitely fading visibly. So it's good that you're at least keeping yours in some kind of book away from the light, because autographs can be quite fragile and susceptible to sun damage. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, anyway, going back to Adam and his question about the video game creators. So I mean, Shigeru Miyamoto and Hideo Kojima, like those guys are kind of like they're like the A-list celebrities of the video game world, right? Those are like two of the biggest figures out there, and yeah, of course they're going to be the hardest, right? But there's plenty of other video game developers and video game voice actors and all kinds of people involved in the creation of video games out there who are really interesting, have great stories to tell, who would be very happy to respond to fan mail and sign your stuff, especially like video game pioneers, like some of those early Atari employees or the early Activision employees, those kind of people who were back in the day when you would develop a game for the Atari 2600 and it was made by one guy in 2 weeks, that kind of thing. So those are the kind of people that I would be trying to reach out to. I mean, you can definitely, we all want to get a letter from Miyamoto or Kojima, but I think your time would be much better served to go for some of those pioneers who are like, maybe not as well known, but certainly made very valuable contributions to video games and would be a great addition to any video game collection. So that's kind of the people who I go for more typically. Yeah. Let's see. What's the latest video game success that I've got? Well, I'm going to go up to Dallas next month. So next month there's the Dallas Fan Expo, and the voice actor for Joel from The Last of Us is going to be up there. So I'm going to get something signed by him. Yes, Crypto Bazillionaire asked, do I still do through the mail stuff? Yes, I do. Yeah, so if you just go to my videos on TikTok, just check out my profile there. Usually whenever I get a new success, I'll post it there. So yeah, you'll find a whole bunch of stuff that I've gotten recently. And, I mean, I think without a doubt, probably it's tougher to do through the mail now than it was in the 80s, but still perfectly viable. And I mean, in some ways it's easier. I mean, we now have email, so you can do some of this through email as well. Finding an address, I mean, it's just a quick Google search away. So, you don't have to rely on like a magazine or something like that, like you would have to do in the 80s. So in some ways it's harder. Some ways it's a lot easier. So yeah, if you did it in the past and you're wanting to get back into it, now's a good time. Yeah, it's definitely a good time to start doing it because I'm definitely getting some like really good quality returns. Yeah, back in the day, you had to buy address lists from back of the magazine. Yeah. So I know, like, what was it like? Yeah, there's like the sci-fi magazines and stuff. They would often publish the fan mail addresses and stuff like that. Or there'd be like newsletters and stuff, which is cool. Like, so you'd be able to get stuff like that. But now there's paid resources now, but there's definitely a bunch of free resources as well. And if you just go to talesfromthecollection.com/addresses, it'll show you like all of the resources there, paid and free. So if you just want to dip your toe into it and just use some of the free resources there, I would definitely say go there, and you can find tons of just free celebrity addresses, no problem. It was always cool when they came back in plain envelopes I sent wondering who it was. Yeah, I mean, definitely like checking the mailbox is like a really fun activity for me. Like it's one of the things that I look forward to the most, always hoping that I'm going to get a celebrity response in there, see who signed my stuff and who didn't. So and yeah, it is good to you probably didn't put their name and address on there, because if it you don't want it to get returned to sender and sent back to the celebrity, you always want to ensure that it comes to you. So yeah, I usually won't put their return address, but I will usually stick their name on it. It said John Candy's came back literally after he died. I guess he had just signed it. Wow, that's John Candy's. That's a great one. Yeah, that's probably worth some money now for sure. But yeah, sometimes that does happen. Top of my mind, Alex Trebek, the famous Jeopardy host, he was very, very good at signing fan mail. Like the man was just like inundated with it. Like Jeopardy posted some photos of it, and he's just standing in front of the pile of fan mail that he was getting. And when he was diagnosed with cancer, and even like while he was undergoing chemo and like doing all this treatment, I mean, like people did not stop sending him fan mail. Like he was just getting inundated with it, and he was still signing it. Like to his credit, I mean, the man was still signing it, probably just about until the day he died. Because I mean, like, even a few weeks after he passed, people were still getting returns from him from his staff was just sending out the stuff that he had signed before he passed. So yeah, same thing happened to me with Leslie Nielsen. I got mine like right before he passed, like a couple days before he passed. So almost the same thing. Yeah, I mean, some of these people are just like they sign like literally until the day they die. They love their fans so much, and that's the way that they give back by responding to fan mail. Yeah. So yeah. I think another person who's like really known to sign like probably more than they should is Clive Revel. Like he was the original Emperor Palpatine in the original Star Wars, and now that man is like a machine. Like he just keeps on signing nonstop. It's crazy how some of these celebrities are so prolific and so dedicated to responding to their fan mail. Yeah, it's something else that's awesome. Let's see. Well, see, anyone have any other last minute questions before I wrap this one up? Yeah, need help with a specific celebrity or anything like that? All right. I think I'm going to wrap this one up. Really appreciate everyone who watched this now or will be watching later when I upload it to YouTube. So yeah, thank you so much for asking questions, and check out my profile. I always got a bunch of successes that I have. Whenever I get a new success, I pretty much always post it. So definitely keep on the lookout to see who's currently signing. All right, take it easy, guys.